Hey, everyone. This is your weekly dose of A-Star. I'm Abby Rolling, and today I am joined with an old friend and fashion icon, Logan, aka Yves Saint Logan. How's it going?
Not too bad. How are we doing today, Abby?
I'm great. Thank you.
Good,
I'm really
good.
happy to just reconnect and talk about what you've been doing.
I know. I'm so excited to be here. I've been looking forward to it.
Oh, that's amazing. So I know you went shopping a little bit earlier,
Yeah,
doing a little bit
managed
of thrifting,
Yeah, I hit my
reselling.
little routes today. Had to
Yeah?
get some in before we got here. Maybe a
Good.
little bit more done.
For sure. What are your favorite stores right now?
Mostly Goodwill. I mean, there's not really too many different locations other than Goodwill. I mean, you got Salvation Army and then Crowded Closet. But other than that, that's really all there is.
Cool. I love to hear it. So I know back when we originally met, it had to have been almost 3 years ago now.
Yeah, about three
Wow.
maybe 4.
Yeah, crazy. But I know back when we first met, you were working at Plato's Closet, and every time I would see you, you'd be like, yeah, look at these new swaggy pants. Want to buy them? And
Swear
I'm
to
like,
God.
what? So how did you transition from like the passion of just loving the reselling aspect to like starting your own Depop?
I mean, when it was at Plato's Closet, it was kind of easy because, like, I was still selling on not on Depop, but on this website or app called Grailed, which is a lot like Depop. That's kind of where I started at. But I mean, it was pretty easy because like people bring in clothes to Plato's Closet anyways. So like I didn't really have to go out and source any clothing at that time.
For sure.
But basically what I would do is just like buy it, and because I liked it, and then kind of just wear it for a little bit until I got bored with it, and then just posted it. So it was like definitely the beginning to what I do now. Transitioning, I mean, I did stayed at Plato's Closet for like maybe a year and a half, and then ended up leaving. But like when I was at Plato's Closet, like how I constantly had a rotation of clothes, just 'cause like I was always buying more stuff. And then I ended up moving to Cedar Rapids and working at Menards. So like I really didn't have a use for constant
It's
new
like-
fashion.
How do you filter through those clothes, and you found that you could just resell them to other people who might like them?
Oh yeah, so like the first thing I ever sold on Grailed was Kanye West St. Pablo tour merchandise.
Oh.
Yeah, so I went to this Kanye concert with my girlfriend at the time, and I knew that was like definitely something that people wanted. So I was like, well, I'll just drop like a little check real quick at the concert, get like probably like $300-$400 worth of merchandise and just resell it. So like that was the first thing that I did was like Kanye West merch. And then
Good start.
yeah, for sure.
I can see why it motivated you to do more, because making that initial high dollar investment really makes your focus into it, rather than just paying like $5 for a t-shirt. You're like, well, I dropped $300, so I'm in
Not
this now.
300, not that much, but definitely. And then it was crazy because like the first thing other than the St. Pablo tour merch that I sold was this Fear of God Metallica Ride the Lightning shirt that I happened to find at Plato's Closet before I started working there. And I think I got it for like $6 or $8. And like some of the Fear of God's like faked and copied. So I had to like double check. I hit my brother up and I'm like, hey, can you like verify this for me, make sure it's authentic? And he like sent me all the things to look for. And he's like, yeah, it looks authentic to me. So I'm like just kind of like browsing on Grailed looking for comps and stuff for it, and it was going for like $100 to $150.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is that an actual like problem, is wondering if what you find is authentic?
I mean, with vintage clothing, there's a lot of like reprints, like with band tees, especially like you'll see like new Metallica t-shirts and other band tees. But most of the new stuff has like printed tags, like screen printed tags, where like any other older tag is like a physical tag, like a Gildan tag or anvil tag.
So it's like printed on the clothing.
Right.
Gotcha.
And then most of the like almost all band tees have like a print date. So like the date it was manufactured, the date it was printed on it. So it's kind of simple with that. There's not really too many fakes of like vintage band tees or vintage tees in general. But
even if you get a vintage tee, it's like it's gonna be one of a kind.
yeah, and that's what I like the most about like shopping vintage is like if I go find this shirt, like that's the only shirt that's in Goodwill. No one else is going to get that shirt after me. Like
sure.
you might be able to find it at a different location at a different time, but like in like reference starts going to the mall or something, say you walk into, I mean, I don't shop at American Eagle, but say you walk into American Eagle and you see this cool t-shirt that you see or a cool hoodie at American Eagle, like you take it off the rack, there's still 10 other of those same exact shirts on the rack. So it's like, it definitely makes you a more individualized person, I feel like, in style. So that's one reason why I really like shopping Goodwill, shopping vintage, because like it's that one item in the store. You're probably not going to find another one like that.
And it just makes you feel like cool, and also, like you said, individualized.
Yeah, you definitely get it. Like if I find that one good find, like it gives me a rush of serotonin like no other.
Oh,
like,
we gotta love that. So do you make money from this? Like when did you start seeing results?
Yeah, so like when I was working at Plato's Closet and reselling on Grail, it was more like having money for the weekend or going out to the bars or just like, I mean, I was a college student, so I didn't really have a real job. I was working at the cafeteria.
Just a little bit of extra cash.
Right. Just enough to make ends meet. And then it was probably, well, it's been a bit, because I've been on Depop for a little over a year, and Salvation Army has like a New Year's sale every year where they do 50% off the entire store, like all clothing. So last year I happened to be in Iowa City and I'm like, oh, I might as well just, stop in Salvation Army to see if there's anything good. Not even knowing that they had like a 50% off sale going on. So I walk in.
Lucky day.
Yeah, no, swear to God. So I literally walk in and the lady's like, oh, just to let you know, like today is 50% off the entire store. I'm like, wait, hold up, the entire store? She's like, yeah, all clothing is 50% off. So I'm like, all right, bet, I'm gonna go crazy.
Cha-ching.
Exactly. So I walk in and like, I think I probably spent like, I spent $100, so it was like $200 worth of clothes. And I probably got like 15, 20, maybe 25 pieces. And I was like, okay, so now I've got all this clothing. Like, obviously I'm not gonna wear all of this constantly. So I'm like, well, let's see if we can post it and make some money. So at that time I was like still majority on Grailed. And some people were like, you should try out Depop. Like Depop's a pretty good app. And I'm like, nah, it doesn't really seem like my style. Like it looks kind of goofy. And then like I downloaded Depop, made the account or whatever. And I'm like, this is like almost exactly like Grailed, but almost like better to me. So like
it almost is laid out like Instagram as well.
So it's really like Instagram and eBay like had a baby child and
that's a good way to put it.
Depop. So like the only difference between Grailed and Depop, like they say have the same amount of seller fees, like it's 10% of your sales. But with Grailed, you have to like you get to bump it once every single week for a month, for 4 weeks basically.
Oh.
And after the 4 weeks after the month, you have to like drop it by a certain amount of percentage of price to get it to go back up to the top of the search list. With Depop, you have like unlimited bumps. You can bump it whenever you want, and it'll go back up to the search. So it was better for me because I feel like I got more like enough audience. So like
pieces that maybe got lost, you can put them back up.
Right. So like with Depop, I usually try to bump like almost, it used to be like every hour when I had like 100 items, it'd take like 8 minutes, but now I've got like 350 pieces and it takes me like 25 minutes to bump it. So I cut back on like every hour to like almost every 2, maybe every 3 hours.
Wow. Yeah. So are you pretty happy with the platform Depop?
Yeah. There's just like one instance where my account got hacked.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So for like 4 days, I didn't have my Depop and I was like freaking out because like I would log in and everything looked normal. And I went to my listings and there was like a MacBook and someone selling Puff bars on my Depop. And I'm like, what is going on? This makes no sense. So I like deleted the listings or whatever. And then I went into my settings and looked at, like my email and my passwords, make sure everything was matching up. It was like a completely different email. So I'm like all warm, like I'm freaking out, like my heart dropped.
Yeah.
And cause this was like probably like, it was like in October. So I was still like doing pretty good on Depop, like a good amount of money to be worried about it. And, I checked my emails and it's like, oh, did you change your email? Did you change your password? Like multiple of them, like 3 different emails about like my account being compromised. So I'm like, no.
But you were able to get the same account back and running.
Yeah.
Good,
so at that time I was actually a verified seller, thankfully. And we have like this Slack channel for like all the verified sellers. Yeah. So
it's amazing.
It was pretty nice. So like I got like a lot quicker response. But I messaged a lady on my Depop channel, Slack channel, and I'm like, hey, like my account's getting hacked right now. Like I need some serious help. And so she like took care of it, and I took care of it, and like it was happening like almost every single day for like, oh, what's up, kitty cat?
Hi, Captain. Get down.
It was happening like every single day for like 4 or 5 days, and I'm like, this has got to stop. And they're trying to tell me that like it wasn't being hacked, it was being taken over. So I ended up finding out that like someone had linked their Instagram to my account because I didn't have my Instagram or anything linked to it, and they're logging into my account through their Instagram. So I'm like, just take all the social medias off my Depop. I changed my email, changed my names. Like other than that one time getting hacked, I mean, it hasn't been too bad. Like it's a pretty good platform to sell on, I think.
I guess the only way around it is not putting your eggs in one basket. Like,
yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot too lately. Like putting myself back on Grailed, like just to like maybe get some more sales. Because I had like a few, like maybe like 5 or 10 items on there up until like last week. I deleted everything off Grailed, but definitely like eggs in one basket. I should probably get back onto Grailed.
So are Grailed and Depop just for like thrifting? Because I know I've heard of apps such as like Bump and the Real Real.
Yeah, so Grailed is like you'll find a lot more like Supreme, Off-White, like any type of hype brand on Grailed. It's
more streetwear.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, like a Cold Wall or like even like serious designer stuff. Where Depop kind of like markets itself to more like sustainability. So you definitely find like, I feel like you find more of like your, I call them mids, like your mid thrifts on Depop, where
it could be designer, but it could also be costume. It just depends.
Yeah,
like it's or just mid range, like you said.
And then like if you have like a really expensive item, I feel like you'd probably be better off putting it on Grailed. So like, so you have like a mid 90s, early 80s band tee or some rap tee, I feel like it'll do a lot better on Grail just because like that kind of orients more towards like high fashion.
Okay, cool. That's actually really good to know. So yeah, that's a really good idea if you're interested in going into thrifting and reselling. Make sure to try around the different kinds of apps, see where you're at.
Yeah,
so,
and then you're saying like Bump and the Real Real. So I've never heard of Bump. And then the Real Real is basically, I don't really know much about the Real Real, but I'm pretty sure it's just like refurbished designer. So like if you wanted like secondhand Louis Vuitton or like Gucci, I would probably do the Real Real because I'm pretty sure, I don't know, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it gets like verified, like authenticated by there.
I think so as well, from what I've heard and what I've done by searching through the app.
Yeah.
And some of like YouTube influencers that I've watched will endorse the Real Real as well as they will buy from the Real Real often. So yeah, it's just really interesting to see that there are different platforms, especially catered to different styles.
Yeah, and then there's like Poshmark too. Like
Poshmark.
I did a very little amount on Poshmark because I realized they charge you like 20% on whatever you sell, which is like twice as much as what Grailed and Depop do. And
wow.
It was like, it's just like so flooded with awful products for like $5. Like it's just like a whole bunch of moms selling their kids clothes on Poshmark.
True. So just take it to Facebook Marketplace at this point.
Literally. I don't sell on Facebook Marketplace, but I'd be trying to source some stuff on Facebook Marketplace recently.
Yeah. There are some good finds there.
I just found a NASCAR jacket on there too.
Your statement. I love it. So is your style pretty consistent, or like do you sell clothes that are catered to like what you like to wear? Is it seasonal? Tell me more.
I mean, like my style has definitely like evolved from like high school to now. Cause like in high school, I was like, you'd probably call me like the preppy kid. Like if you saw me, he'd be like, yeah, he's preppy. Like khakis, joggers, polo button ups, Ralph Lauren, like kind of dressing like I was about to go to a frat party in high school. And then I got into like college, university, and I was like I kind of like differed away from that and like went more towards like a streetwear style, like maybe like kind of skater boy type stuff.
I just remember you had these like navy blue Adidas joggers with like the zipper,
Oh yeah,
and I
yeah.
was like obsessed with those. I was
I
like,
used to-
I think those are so cool.
I had like, so I had those. I had blue ones, black ones, another pair of black ones, red ones, and I was like, I'm just gonna do the whole rainbow, like green, orange, yellow. And I realized like it's not that easy. Like I
Right.
definitely couldn't find them like that. But I definitely got away.
Had a
from,
little collection though.
yeah, for sure. But I don't really wear the Adidas pants. I think they're pretty played out now.
Oh, for sure.
Cause like, and that's another thing that like changes my style. Like something will be cool for like the time, but like once people started wearing it so often, like I'm just like I'm not really trying to wear that no more. So like I thought the Fila disruptors or destroyed disruptors were like super cool, and then they popped off and everyone started wearing them. I'm like, yeah, I could never go there.
I guess that's the good thing about always constantly changing your wardrobe.
Exactly, yeah. So like definitely now I feel like it's more oriented to like a streetwear vibe, but like more loungewear. Like I wear sweatpants a lot. I wear skinny jeans all the time. I've been wearing skinny jeans since like 6th grade. I only wear white shoes, which is like a really bad idea because they get dirty so often.
Oh my goodness.
But definitely from like the like preppy boy style in high school to now, it's probably like more laid back. But I feel like it's kind of like that for everyone too. Like I mean, people wearing yoga pants, but now they're just wearing like sweatpants. So,
Also,
I mean,
off camera, you mentioned that like when you go into Goodwill, you don't really look in like the men or women section. It's more just like gender inclusive.
yeah. So like, I try to stick away from like women's stuff because I really don't have a lot of product knowledge towards women's stuff. Excuse me. I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of product knowledge towards women's stuff because, like, with women's shirts, you have like blouses, camis, spaghetti straps. I mean, like it's a never-ending list.
For sure.
With men's, you have like sweatshirts, hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeves, and maybe a tank top. So it's like a lot less to focus on. So when I go into the Goodwill, like I'll run through the t-shirts, run through the sweatshirts, sweaters, basically anything that's like kind of like you said, gender inclusive, like unisex.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier because I can like still apply it to like a female population or a men's population. So like it's inclusive, like what you said.
Yeah. Some of my like favorite people to watch, like Nikki and Gabby, like one of them is really into like designer and the real, and the other one, Nikki, they're twins.
Oh.
And Nikki is more like, I'm just going to go to the men's section and find like dope jackets and t-shirts.
Exactly.
So it's kind of cool to see how different styles come into play. Yeah. So what else do you do when you go thrifting, or what do you like? Walk me through like your journey from finding a t-shirt to selling it.
Yeah. So like when I walk into Goodwill, so before I go into Goodwill, I like do like a little like self-manifestation type thing where I'm like,
For sure.
I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna find this today. I'm gonna find this today. I'm gonna find this today.
Set your intentions.
Exactly. You gotta set your goals
important.
high. So I walk in and like I like depending on the season. So like right now I'll go more towards like the sweatshirts, the hoodies, and the sweaters. Just because like that's selling the best. And when you walk into Goodwill, like you don't know who your competition is necessarily, so to say.
Yeah.
So like if you walk in, like you go to t-shirts and then someone's already running through the sweatshirts, like you might miss something that you would have got if you would have just went to the sweatshirts in the first place. So I'll go to the sweatshirts, the hoodies, run through those racks, go to the t-shirts, see if I can't find anything there. And then every once in a while I'll hit like the jeans. But like I feel like in Goodwill it's so hard to find like men's jeans and like a 28 to like a 34, like everything's like size 40, 42, like really big. And
I totally get that.
yeah. So run through all the racks, check out, I mean, then by the time I'm done, like I have like a route in every city. So like in Cedar Rapids, there's like 4 Goodwills and a Salvation Army. When I go to Cedar, yeah. So in the Cedar Rapids Marion area, there's 4, and like there's one that's like 8 minutes from my house, and then I run down Mount Vernon Road up to 6th Street in Marion, and then across to the Council Street Goodwill. So I've got like a planned route every single time I go somewhere. And then in Iowa City, you have You have Iowa City, Coralville. So like Iowa City has a Goodwill and a Salvation Army in the same parking lot, and then one parking lot over is a Crowded Closet. And then when you're heading back home, you've got and then you got a Stuff Etc. too. And then when you go, which is in the same exact parking lot as the Crowded Closet, so like within literally like a quarter-mile radius, you've got 4 thrift stores right there.
Okay, that's really cool to me because upon research, I found that like people were saying that thrifting and reselling is unethical because like you're taking away all of this clothes that maybe like underprivileged people maybe aren't able to, like they can afford that clothes and you're taking it away. I wish I would have done more research about it, but it seems to me that reselling is actually sustainable because
Absolutely.
you're not buying like a bunch of
fast fashion.
That's what it's called.
Yeah. So like, and it's kind of a problem with like Depop and stuff. Like some people like come onto the Slack channel and they'll be like, hey, I'm getting like basically harassed on my page for reselling stuff. So, I mean, a lot of people say it's like gentrification of thrift stores, Goodwills and whatever. But I mean, there's definitely 2 sides of each story. But on my side, I definitely don't see it as gentrification because, I mean, if you walk into a Goodwill and see the vast amount of clothes that are in there,
right,
it's overwhelming. And then that doesn't even include everything that's not in the shelves that gets sent to the bins, the Goodwill outlets. And then on top of that, it's like, there's like, even if I pick over all the stuff, there's still just the same, like there's still more stuff there. It's just like there's still t-shirts, there's still hoodies, like you can still buy your essential items. But I don't think an underprivileged kid is coming in trying to find a Nike windbreaker that Goodwill already has marked up to $10 or $15.
For sure.
So I mean,
there's definitely enough to go around.
Right. There's more than enough to go around.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of clothes that get sent to like, I mean, waste management is probably exponential.
Also, it gives people an opportunity who may be in different cities, states, countries even, to be involved with something that we might find in Iowa City.
And like you were saying with the fast fashion, so I mean, it's definitely more like, what were you saying earlier? I just had, I'm fine. Oh shoot. Sustainable. It's definitely more sustainable.
Yeah,
so I mean, if you go into like the mall, like say you go into Route 21 or Forever 21, like their seasons are so repetitive so quickly nowadays that like they have so much waste and all those items are like awful quality.
If you wash them 3 or 4 times,
like
it might not.
Your stitches are going to rip out basically. So, I mean, like the sweatpants that I'm wearing are probably, I mean, I don't know how old they are, but they're definitely old. I mean, they still work perfectly well. Like all the stuff, like what they say was like anything that's made in the past is made a lot better than what it is now.
I totally get that.
I
got like
true.
3 pairs of faded glory jeans, and I'm like, isn't that Walmart's brand?
Yeah.
But they're like quality.
So it's like I'll be finding like made in USA Wranglers, which is like early 90s, and like they're worn, but they're still in perfect good condition. So it's like it's more sustainable. You're not buying into fast fashion. I mean, you're supporting Goodwill and their cause, which is like trying to get like job opportunities to the like less
people with disabilities
and less fortunate. So I mean, in that way, I personally, every single time like you check out, they're like, oh, do you want to round your change up to the next dollar to support some type of fund? And I always donate my change.
Oh, bless your heart.
I mean, it's like, and there'll be like people in front of me that are like, hey, do you want to round up your 17 cents to the next dollar to help with the fund that we're supporting this month? And people are like, no. I'm like, it's like
come on.
It's like, I mean, even if it's like 70 cents, it's like you won't have the change in your pocket that you'll probably run through the washer and it'll sit there for 4 months anyways.
And that 17 cents could, you never know, give a child a coat that doesn't have one.
Right. So, I mean, supporting Goodwill that way, not buying into fast fashion. I mean, and even with fast fashion, like all these clothes are produced overseas, and I hate to say it, but like more or less sweat factories and like Indonesia.
You don't know how
India.
Those people are being treated
and
as
it's most likely not
employees.
fair trade environments either. So, I mean, the fact that you're just buying local, supporting a good cause, not buying into fast fashion and buying sustainably. I mean, I feel like it. And then there's people that are like, oh, but you're buying the stuff at a lower price and reselling it. But it's like, I mean, an iPhone Like you buy an iPhone for $1,200, it doesn't cost Apple $1,200 to make an iPhone.
Right.
Might cost a couple $100, but I mean, Apple is one of the biggest companies in the world. So I mean, if you look at it,
they don't even have to market themselves.
Right. So I mean, if you look at it like at a business mindset, like everything you buy is at a smaller price and it's raised in price, like the cost of manufacturing. So like, granted, I don't have to manufacture any of these clothes. Like you still have to put in like the consideration, the miles driven on my car, the gas that goes into my car, the time of just going through and finding it. Like when I do like a whole route, like it takes me like 7 hours in the day.
Right.
And then, I mean, washing clothes, shipping clothes,
postage, is all involved,
right?
As
if you
well
really
as
like get into like
to take like the pictures,
and then
to
if
make
you
it
like
look
really
nice.
get into like the microeconomics of it, it's like the Wi-Fi it costs to post it, the electricity, the water that you use for all the washing. I mean,
it
like,
truly is a business.
Yeah, no, it really is. I mean, if you take the time to think of it as a business mindset, like it's. I mean, everyone makes profit. That's why it's a.
You have like
a
whole system in place, and I
Literally.
think that's really important because then you are always ready for what's to come.
Right.
So what exactly does the future of your little Depop shop look like? Any advice for people maybe looking to try it?
Yeah. So like Depop, I said it before, they take 10%. So I mean, like on a $25, $30 sale, it's only $3. But I mean, I've got like 10, like almost more than 1,000 sales on Depop. So say you have 1,000 sales at, let's just say $20. That's what, $20,000. 10% of that's $2,000. So I mean, I'm losing out on $2,000 because I'm selling on this app.
Right.
So what I'd like to do is like get away from marketplaces, but it's hard because I mean, a marketplace has a reach of multi-million people. Like
for sure.
Many million people. So like, it's nice. Like, I don't think I'll ever leave Depop because of the broad array of people that you can get from it. But I definitely want to like get onto Instagram and have like my own Instagram like
a
reselling
little
page.
Boutique kind of through
almost.
Instagram.
Exactly.
It'd be cool to even have like Yves Saint Logan website someday.
So there's this one guy I watch on YouTube all the time, but he has a resale on Instagram and it's Death Row Thrift. I'm plugging you just so you
Shout
know.
out.
But he just like does it perfectly. He does like trips to the thrift on YouTube, all this type of stuff.
We
So,
love
like,
to see it.
Yeah, so like I'm kind of using him as like a blueprint on what to do next. But what I want to do is like start an Instagram. I already have like the app for it and everything, and I've got a name for it. But I have like it's really just like a gray profile. Like there's nothing to it, no post, no bio, nothing. But so it'd be like the name is Save the World Thrift, which is kind of like double entendre almost.
Yeah.
So I want to get on Instagram. I might dabble a little bit into TikTok because my friend was showing me the other day like thrift talk, which is
thrift talk.
Yeah. So like all these people like showing their trips to the thrift on TikTok, and I feel like creating content for TikTok would be a lot easier than creating content for YouTube.
Also, it's all about making evergreen content. So if you make a TikTok, you can post it on Instagram Reels. You can post it on Snapchat. You can even put it on LinkedIn if you wanted.
Really?
Yeah, heck yeah. They have a story feature.
Oh, see, I don't even use LinkedIn like that, but you put me on it.
Get on LinkedIn,
Swear
literally. It's the most underrated networking platform in the game.
Oh, man. I'm gonna have to get on LinkedIn now. Hold on. But I mean, definitely looking to get into TikTok, Instagram, maybe even like make my own website, like you were saying. But like tips and advice. I mean, it's first the hardest thing is starting. Like I feel like that's for everything is starting because I mean, you have like, I mean, just
gotta build the foundation to build a house.
Exactly. So, consistency is key. I mean, you might go to Goodwill. You might go on your, like for me, for example, I'll go on my Goodwill route almost every day, if not every other day. And like there's some days where I'll waste 5 hours, 6 hours and not maybe find one piece, maybe not find anything. But the next day I'll hit the same exact Goodwills, the same exact locations, and I'll find like a whole bunch of mids that I'll pay the bills. and maybe a few like rare pieces or I call them grail pieces. Consistency, definitely taking good photos. My setup is super simple. Like I literally use my phone. I just got a ring light yesterday in the mail that's gonna hopefully bring the picture quality up a little bit.
It will.
But I have these like they're just like the octopus arm lamps or whatever they are.
Okay.
Like it's just like that lamp and then like the reading lamp that hangs down.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I've got 2 of those and I went to Menards and got like super bright LED lights, put them in my fan, and for the longest time I was just using like regular LED lights to take these pictures.
So is it like a little shoebox setup that you have,
No,
or
so like,
an actual backdrop?
So I take all my pictures flat right now. It might change now that I got the ring light. But so I mean I have like a wooden floor, so it's not awful. Like it makes for a good backdrop. But I'll literally just lay them flat, front, detail pick, back, and the tag. And then, so I was just using like regular light bulbs, and I was at work the other day, or I guess a couple months ago, and I saw these like work lights, like these bright, like 4K lumen work lights. I'm like, that'd be a good idea.
It would work for photos too.
Exactly. So I've got these super bright LED lights that shine on all my stuff now, plus the ring light that I just bought, and like it's looking phenomenal right now. I can't lie.
Okay, so where can we find you now?
So you got DEPOP, which is Yves Saint Logan, Yvessanitlogan. Basically that's what my name is on everything. You got,
and that's a play on words, right?
Yeah. So Yves Saint Logan definitely comes from Yves Saint Laurent, which is like a fashion designer brand.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to think of a way that I could brand myself, and I'm like, what sounds good with Logan? And I'm like, I was literally sitting in my class one day, and I'm like, we were talking about just fashion brands in general. We were talking about like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and someone's like, oh, what about Yves Saint Logan? Like we were just talking, like we weren't even talking about like myself or branding myself or anything. It was just like came up in topic of conversation. So I was like, Yves Saint Laurent, Yves Saint Logan.
Nice.
I'm like, YSL, Yves Saint Logan. I'm like, it'll literally match perfectly. So hopefully like I don't get a cease and desist from YSL for trying to use their name and mine and incorporating it together. But I mean,
it's just a remix. You're fine.
You're, you know.
So it's Yves Saint Logan on Depop.
Depop. Instagram is Yves Saint Logan with 2 N's. So YVESSAINTLOGANN.
Okay.
And then Twitter is Yves Saint Logan as well. So I kind of like try to make it everything across all platforms to make it easy.
For sure. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, I think that's a good place to lead into this conclusion. So I just want to thank you again for being a part of it. Like,
this is awesome. Also, I watch your podcast. You call it a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I watch your podcast. Yeah, the last one with Cray. Shout out to Cray.
Shout out
music
Cray.
Video is what favorite show. Goes crazy. Also, y'all were talking about like high frequencies and stuff, and like I'm not really into like, I guess I would say astrology, and like I don't know what else falls into that line. Spirituality. I'm not a very spiritual person. But he was talking about like high frequencies and how he falls asleep to these high frequencies, and I'm like, man, I've got nothing to watch right now because The Office is off Netflix. I'm like, maybe I should just play some high frequencies on YouTube. And I swear to God,
that's better than The Office.
No, I don't know. You got The Office and you got high frequencies. Like it's right there next to each other. But I'm like, I swear to God, I had the best night's sleep. Like I don't even remember falling asleep, and I just woke up with fresh energy. So shout out to you. Shout out to Cray.
Amazing.
Shout out to A-Star for putting me onto the high frequencies. But
awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Like it was fun. I enjoyed this. It's nice to meet up with you again. It's been forever. Like
I know
we went from WW Wednesdays to A-Star now. Shout out to you if y'all know WW Wednesdays.
If you know, you know.
Swear to God.
But yes, thank you, Logan, for spitting so much value today on Thrifting for Profit. We really just need all of that Especially just having fun and doing what you love. It's so important, and it gives people another outlet to be creative. So.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work for myself. I'm trying to get for this corporate stuff.
Yep, we're learning our way to a free life.
Swear to God.
Alrighty, well, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button and share with a friend.
Make sure you comment.
Please comment, because we want to get these videos to people who need to see them. But we appreciate you for staying till the end, and thank you for watching.
Shout out to y'all. Shout out to A-Star.
A-Star. We'll see you next time.